360, we may forge relationships with all our colleagues, but it's very difficult to forge friendships with all of us. Honorable Buba Jibril, when I think about him, I would summarize him as a person who was gentle of character, big as he was, very generous both in his words, in his nature, and in what he had. He was very kind, and who was the object, the total picture of humility. It didn't matter where he went to, he always said that God had brought him thus far. And so he never took credit for where it is that God had taken him. Honorable Buba Jibril, as we think about him, a lot of us are unified in our mourning of that person, not only in his capacity as a stabilizing figure on the floor of the House, was never in the midst of controversy, was always trying to find out, to be the calming voice when there was ever any friction on the floor. When a person of this stature passes on, we always say he went too soon and there was so much more that he could have done. No truer words have been said about anybody as they are about Honorable Buba Jibril. He had plans, he had hopes, and he was not scared to share them with anybody. I met him first in 2007, when I was first elected into the House. By some stroke of coincidence, his seat was right behind mine. And every time I walked in, he'd tap me on the shoulder and say, "Good morning." Sometimes I'd be engrossed in talking to the other people, and he would say, "Are you not going to greet me today?" And I'd always say to him, I wanted to save the best for last. Of course, when he moved to the front row, I'd walk past him, and as soon as I opened my mouth, he'd say to me, "You will save the best for last." And so we had a friendship. Honorable Buba Jibril would always bring fish, and everybody speaks about the fish, and I know that my male colleagues will miss that very much. But it's not only to them, I will miss it as well, because Honorable Buba Jibril would always tell me about the fish in Lokoja, and he would bring me fish. Eventually, he started to cook lunch, and everybody on the floor of this House, without exception of any, would struggle for the fish. And as has been mentioned, even while he was ill, his fish was legendary. We all thought about it. Some people actually left chambers to go to eat the fish so it would finish by the end of sitting. We will miss that part of him. Buba Jibril would speak to me about very personal things, about growing my family, about how to grow my family, and could never understand why I'd say to him it was difficult. He would speak to me, he introduced me to all, he was such a friend. Even for lines that strangers don't cross, Honorable Buba Jibril would cross them because he felt it was the thing to do. As I stand today, it is a very sobering thought that someone who was so alive can be so dead. It is a very sobering thought that on the floor of this House, standing together as a band of brothers, that such a gentle, stabilizing force could be taken away from us. Therefore, all of us will miss him. We'll miss his stabilizing hand. We'll miss his voice of reason. We'll miss his calm approach to things. We'll miss the fact that his feathers were never ruffled. We'll miss the fact that he was always there for respect. He was always there for guidance. Mr. Speaker, personally, I will miss Honorable Buba Jibril. I'll miss his imposing figure in his white babariga on that seat. I'll miss him bumbling down the stairs or up the stairs with a smile for everybody. And I will miss the fish. Mr. Speaker, But I shall be consoled by the words that say that the gods hide from us the joy of death so that we may endure life. May his soul rest in peace. And may we not forget to remember that he left a family behind that will need all the support that all of us can give. Thank you very much.